He was carried to heaven by a chariot of fire. In the harsh, sun-scorched lands of Gilead, a figure emerged who would defy all expectations: Elijah the Tishbite, a prophet whose name would resonate through history. No written records were needed to spread his fame. His life was a testament of unwavering faith, powerful deeds, and divine intervention. In the 9th century BC, Elijah stood as a beacon of truth, boldly confronting kings and restoring hope in a land drowning in darkness. The Bible even foretold his arrival. In Malachi 4:5, God promises to send Elijah before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. His coming was shrouded in mystery, and little is known about his origins. Yet this only added to the intrigue surrounding his mission. Why was he chosen? How did he become such a mighty force for God? Elijah's journey wasn't just spiritual, it was physical too. He didn't only speak, he acted. When he announced a devastating drought to King Ahab, he didn't just deliver a prophecy, he ran ahead of Ahab's chariot, proving his extraordinary endurance. 1 Kings 17:1. But this was only the beginning of his miraculous path. From the brook Cherith, where ravens fed him, to the widow of Zarephath, where he performed miracles of provision and healing, Elijah's life was filled with signs of God's power. When the widow's son fell ill, Elijah didn't hesitate. With deep faith and intense prayer, he brought the boy back to life, showing that even in moments of despair, God's mercy and power were at work. 1 Kings 17:17-24. Perhaps most dramatically on Mount Carmel, Elijah faced a nation caught in the grip of idolatry. With a land ravaged by drought, God commanded Elijah to confront King Ahab. In one of the most thrilling showdowns in history, Elijah boldly challenged the prophets of Baal, proving that the Lord alone was God. Elijah's life wasn't just about miracles. It was about trust in God's plan, even in the face of danger. He was a man of courage, faith, and divine purpose. So what can we learn from Elijah's story? How can we, like him, trust in God's plan, no matter the challenges ahead? If you're inspired by the courage and faith of Elijah, subscribe now to dive deeper into his story and more lessons from the Bible. You won't want to miss the next chapter of this incredible journey. Elijah's journey from the widow's house to the dramatic showdown on Mount Carmel was a testament to his unwavering faith in God. As the land suffered under a devastating drought, Ahab and Obadiah searched in vain for any remaining pastures. In an unexpected twist, Obadiah, a devout man who had secretly protected God's prophets, met Elijah. Despite his fear of Ahab's wrath, Obadiah remained faithful to the Lord, and Elijah assured him that he would confront Ahab. That confrontation came on Mount Carmel, where Elijah boldly challenged the people of Israel. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. The prophets of Baal danced and cut themselves in a desperate attempt to summon fire from heaven, but nothing happened. Then Elijah stepped forward, rebuilt the Lord's altar, and prayed. Fire from heaven consumed the sacrifice, and the people cried, "The Lord, he is God." In that moment, Elijah's bold faith ignited a spiritual awakening. Yet victory did not shield Elijah from danger. Jezebel, enraged by the defeat of her prophets, vowed to kill him. Exhausted and fleeing for his life, Elijah found refuge in a cave on Mount Horeb. In his despair, he expressed his humanity, feeling isolated and ready to give up. But in that moment of vulnerability, God spoke to him, giving him new instructions and revealing that 7,000 faithful had not bowed to Baal. Elijah's mission was far from over. Elijah's successor, Elisha, marked a new chapter in Israel's prophetic history. Elisha followed Elijah with deep reverence, demonstrating his respect for the sacred calling. As Elijah was taken up to heaven in a chariot of fire, Elisha's faith and loyalty were reaffirmed. This moment, filled with awe and sorrow, sealed the legacy of Elijah, a prophet whose life was a bold declaration of God's power and unwavering truth. This powerful journey invites us to ask ourselves, how often do we waver in our faith? Elijah's story challenges us to choose decisively, trust in God's power, and remain steadfast in the face of adversity. Will we have the courage to follow the path of truth, no matter the cost? The transition from Elijah to Elisha is not just a historical moment. It's a powerful metaphor for leadership, mentorship, and the deep relationship between God and his prophets. When Elijah tore his clothes, it wasn't just a gesture, it was the symbolic ending of his apprenticeship and the birth of Elisha's ministry. This act marked the beginning of a new chapter, as Elisha asked for a double portion of Elijah's spirit, signaling his readiness to continue the work God had started. Elijah's dramatic ascension into heaven was a moment of divine confirmation, proving that God's work transcends human understanding. Elisha's journey, filled with miracles and divine interventions, was a testament to the power of mentorship and faith. But even Elisha faced doubts. When the sons of the prophets asked to search for Elijah, he hesitated. But their insistence led to a fruitless search, confirming Elijah's departure and emphasizing God's unshakable will. The story of Jehu and his alliance with Jonadab, the son of Rechab, demonstrates how purity and obedience to God can bring radical change. Jehu was relentless in eradicating the remnants of Ahab's house, fulfilling Elijah's prophecy. It was a stark reminder that God's word is powerful, and those who follow it are empowered to bring about renewal and justice. What does this all mean for us today? The lives of Elijah and Elisha show us the power of persistence in prayer, humility in service, and the importance of building up future leaders. These men didn't just perform miracles, they showed us what it means to trust God completely, even in the darkest times. Their stories remind us that true greatness comes from obedience to God's call, not from personal glory. Through their struggles and triumphs, we learn that God is always with us, ready to strengthen us when we feel weary. These prophets remind us that no matter what challenges we face, we are not alone. God's faithfulness is unshakable. Are we willing to trust in His promises and stand firm in our faith, like Elijah and Elisha did? Their legacy invites us to live boldly, pray persistently, and serve humbly. In a world that often drifts away from God's ways, their example calls us to be light in the darkness. Let us commit ourselves to God's truth, remembering that, just as He was with Elijah and Elisha, He is with us today. Are you ready to embrace this call? Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoy the intriguing and profound stories from the Bible, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future videos. Together, we'll uncover more mysteries and secrets you never knew about. Join our community today.